Morning guys, early. Just putting a few last rocks on the stairs here before I leave. It turned into quite the piece of work, so I I hope it stays through the runoff and the rain. Anyways, I'm up early and headed out. Just about to leave the site here. I gotta go back to town. Cold last night. Like, it's July probably 22nd, and it was like cold last night. Like, it's been getting gradually colder, and so last night I was thinking maybe I should pull out the blanket. I almost did, but then I didn't. I left it in the truck, and I for sure needed it. I was up early, like I don't even know what time. I didn't get a lot of sleep because I was fighting the cold all night. Really cold down by these creeks. If you just go up like 100 meters, it's much warmer, but down by these creeks, and then now it's been kind of like high pressure cloudy the last couple days, so there hasn't been a lot of sun warming up the rocks and the creek and everything, so it's getting chilly for sure. Which is kind of crazy considering it's July, but I bet you it gets quite a bit colder out here in the winter. You hear that ball joint squeaking. A lot of people think that's like a shock, but actually it's a ball joint. You hear that squeak every time you go over a bump. People think, oh, I need a new shock. No, it's a ball joint needs grease, but then now they make them, they don't even have a grease nipple on them, so they're like a sealed unit. Yeah, I couldn't sleep much last night. A lot of people think too that if it's cold, if you go to bed and it gets cold, you'll like freeze and die in the night, but that's not the case. I've slept outside in the winter many times, and once you get cold, you wake up. So if you go to bed, as long as you're not cold when you go to bed, if you're cold when you go to sleep, then yeah, and you just like pass out from hypothermia, then yeah, you'll die. But if you're warm when you go to bed, or you're fine, then you'll wake up when you get too cold. Your body wakes you up, and it's like, okay, buddy, time to get up and start. You'll fight it forever. You'll be like lying there, and you'll wake up, why am I awake? And then you'll like toss and turn and go into like the fetal position. Then that won't work. You do that for like an hour until you'll eventually get up and get some more blankets. So here we got a bridge. Somebody was asking about the bridges, and I like the bridges too. I think it's pretty cool, these constructions. They're just like big steel beams. Some of them are wood, but just that there's so many of them everywhere. I don't know who's checking on these things, and let's take a look at this one. So first you can see the sign down there, way down there. Like the sign's like buried. So the bridge is obviously pretty old. It says the load limit's like 63,000. Then you can see here the bridge is actually damaged. I'm just gonna park here because no one comes down this road. This bridge is actually damaged. Oh yeah, my hat's back there. I gotta go back to the site. I left my hat in the creek to clean it. Anyways, if you look at this, like, that's not right. You can see that whole metal bracket's broken. That's been pushed way over. Same on this side, it's been hit. Pushed way over. You can see down that line, it is leaning way out. And I don't think these rails are really meant to support much, but they're just kind of there. You can see it's all broken on the bottom. Like, look at how leaning out that is. That's supposed to be straight up, and look at that. The whole thing moves when you kick it. So I don't think those are meant to support an actual vehicle. they're more or less just there, especially because it's logging trucks coming across here. They're more or less just there to, so you see it says 37,000 on it. So that'd be the one beam, because the load limit on the bridge said 65. So one beam is 37. Huge steel beam. And look at that, it's falling right apart. So these guys come and they try to make this corner with a really long trailer, and they cut her too tight or too wide, and it knocks that right off. But the rails aren't there to hold the trucks up. They're just there, I think, so that you're not driving over just an open bridge. Then you got some sort of a rail there. Big planks on top. It's gorgeous little beach and stuff over here. There's some pinnacles or hoodoos. And there's a nice beach over there. I hiked over to the day I went through the creek with this phone. So it was soaked, so I didn't film anything that day. But yeah, I can't believe it's working again. Oh, it's nice in the mornings when you wake up and there's no bear came sniffing around camp. I've been there for 3 or 4 days now, and I'm cooking there and everything, and kind of at night when you're by yourself way out there, and then it starts to get dark, and you kind of start to look a lot more for bears, especially when you're down there working on the bridge. You expect to come up over the bank and see one, right? So you can see this like beam is just massive. These steel beams are just massive. They're spliced together. There's a splice spot right in the center there where it's welded. They're just huge. Not all of them are steel. I've seen some of the really long ones are wood, just stacked up in like the height of a beam. And they got these like, those look like 8x6s or something, coming across this way for stringers. Then they run all their decking on that. So there's no support in the middle, just these deck boards, which also aren't straight. I can see this one's all cockeyed. A bunch of them are cockeyed, and this one's like broken. So like I said, there's so many of these bridges, I don't know that they're always inspected all the time. Here's a stamp on it. So we got Ministry of Forests, manufactured August 9th, 90, 8990. So this thing is 31 years old. So yeah, it's a 31-year-old bridge. You can see here too, like this is one of the support decking beams is broken there and all cockeyed. And this is just wood that's been tarred too to hold it back. So, like, when's the last time they inspected it, right? Picked up some garbage. Looks like they drive these big pillars in here. Pile drive those in, and then lay your beams on those. And then lay all this shiplap here to stop, because when the runoff comes, guys, it's big snow out here, the water will be up, like, it'll wash right over all of this. So the bridge is 30 years old, and it's got all kinds of broken parts to it. So how much do you guys think it's inspected, right? And this is just one. This one's a steel beam. A lot of them are wood. A lot of the smaller ones are wood beam, and so I mean, yeah, for sure. they do cave in, and obviously this one needs some work. 30-year-old bridge. So I don't know whose job that is. I guess the forestry guys, but I think how it works is when the logging companies want to go in and log an area again, they go and repair the bridge and repair the road and get everything ready for the trucks, right? That part over there is just screwed. So here's the thing, is like these side braces or stringers running across, you actually could end up driving on those. Like, you're not necessarily just driving over the beams if you go to the side or whatever, and then your weight's on those, and a lot of them are old and busted, 30-year-old wood, right? So pressure treated, like I build fences with pressure treated wood, and it's supposed to be good in the ground for 30 years. Well, this isn't even pressure treated. It's treated with like tar. So how long is it good in the ground for? Or out in the elements for? So anyways, what I'm saying is I don't just blindly trust all these bridges. But they're pretty cool feats that they're just thrown in everywhere. I'd imagine there'd be guys with the logging company, they'd just be bridge builders, and that's just what they do. Like, these top boards are so old and loose too. That's a powerful creek. Doesn't matter where a guy tries to cross. Like, I crossed that the other day, went in with my phone. I thought about crossing it 2 or 3 times yesterday to take you guys across with the GoPro, but honestly, I was a little sketched out. I didn't want to do it because I was like, I almost got washed down the times I did cross it before. It's quite a bit more powerful than I thought. I gotta go back and get that hat. Not that I want that hat, but I just don't want to leave any garbage or anything in the creek. That hat's getting pretty old. I burn through hats about one every month. And that, you guys will have seen that one in about 1 million videos by now. So anyways, that's it for that video. I just wanted to show you guys that bridge. And that's a good example. I'll see if I can show you one of the other like wooden, more damaged ones. There's been a few that I won't cross. Like I was telling you in another video, the one said load limit 4,000 pounds. And this truck weighs almost 6. And it was a big bridge. And it was just an old sign sitting on the side, like just a plastic sign, just kind of sitting there. It wasn't on a post or anything. And it had like grass growing over it. So even the sign was really old. Creeks are just constantly trying to wash those bridges out. But yeah, there'd be a team of guys that work for the logging company or whatever that come in, and or maybe the forestry, like it said Ministry of Forests, so maybe the government puts the bridges in, pays for the bridges. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how it works. The government might pay for the roads and the bridges to provide access for the logging companies to go in and create jobs and get some resources out for the country to sell and that kind of stuff, and then everybody gets their back scratched. So anyways, just headed back to town. It's hard to say goodbye to this site. This was a amazing site, and I'm gonna be back. But I built the monument there to commemorate the trip, and I got footage of that, so I'll always have that in there. Anyways, I'm blabbing on now. Thanks for watching.